Chasing Zero, systematically removing tasks pathologically. One of my favorite chapters. It's a mindset to implement EquityPlanner.xls. Chasing Zero is a mindset. You want to constantly be thinking, do I really need to do this? It's not lazy. You're not being lazy. You're being efficient. Do I really need to do this? Do I really need to be having any emotion about it? Can I remove this task altogether? Not because I'm procrastinating and I don't want to do it, because I want to work on the stuff that really makes me financially successful. You want to be a decision maker, not an implementer. Here's an example. About a year ago, Jill and I decided we wanted to remove all the keys out of our lives. So a couple $100 later, a trip to Home Depot, and an afternoon, we successfully eliminated all of the keys by using lock boxes and door locks and U-locks for the bikes. So think about the implications. While this seems kind of like weirdo a little bit, think about the true implications of never having any more keys in you can't lose your keys. There's nothing left in your pockets, or there's space in your pockets for something else. So while this on the front of it seems a little weird, like old man weirdo weird, it's not. We don't have to worry about losing keys, finding keys, wherever we want to access all the toys we have, the boat, the motorcycles and the cars. We just walk right up to it, and that's it. I'm done with the key. Put it back in there in the lockbox. There are far, far-reaching implications to this in business. Chasing Zero is getting yourself to a point where you're doing nothing. Now, do you ever do nothing? No, not at all. You're always doing something, whether it's fun or relaxing, but you have a choice. Because in the end, what you're really going to work on are the things that make you successful, like I said. If it's not sending another mailer out, maybe it's buying another company. That's the stuff you should be working on. You shouldn't be closing a real estate deal, I'll tell you that for sure. A long time ago, I owned a company called Mission Healthcare Corporation, and this is why I came up with Chasing Zero. There was us, my partner and I up here. We had a manager that worked with us, a single person that worked with us, a manager. She actually worked out of her house. And we owned all of these long-term care facilities and nursing homes all over Minnesota. The company's still there. We sold it. All the problems that were associated with these nursing homes and long-term care facilities stopped right here. All of it. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on here. Once in a while, a problem got too big for the administrator to handle it, and it got managed here. And once in a great while, it got to us if we had to solve it. These people in these facilities all had several things in common, just like these real estate deals have several things in common. They all use the same software. All these facilities needed needed software. They need financial support, and they need training. And they need a place to go if something's really going wrong or something's going really going right. This person, she's called a regional manager, provided all of those things here. What did we provide? Acquisitions, divestitures, source of capital, and decision-making. That's exactly how you should model your company. Does it happen overnight? No. Should you be horsing around with these transactions? No, you should be chasing zero. You should be, if you're shaking your head like I do every day about why am I involved in this? That's the mentality you want to have. And what you want to do is walk away. And you want to work on a system. You don't want to do the task itself and just say, oh, I'll just get through it. I'll do it. You want to work on a system to stop having to do those tasks ever again. You want to work on a system of never having to think about having a key in your pocket again. All tasks and jobs can be divided into two categories. The stuff you have to do yourself and the stuff that you can teach somebody else to do. And it all comes back to Equity Planner here. Teach them to do this through videos. And it's not do the video and it's that way for 10 years. You need to update these videos. Things come up. It's a constant work in progress. Way more tasks can be subcontracted out than you think. Way, way, way more. In fact, the vast majority. In fact, if you look at this, it's not only can the tasks be subbed out, but are they necessary at all? Necessary at all? I hate sales. This can be entirely limited by having a handful of info lot buyers per market. Completely and entirely limited. And finding those buyers should be someone else's task, not you. There's a chance you may have to go to some our real estate investment meetups initially to find some, but the vast majority you can do of finding buyers can be done in front of the internet, like we talked about. I think it was in Chapter 2, where you go to the Maricopa County website and find out who's pulling permits and making phone calls and stuff. That can be subbed out. A good transaction coordinator, our house transaction coordinator, who's also a member in our group, does all of that for us. And he's better at it than I am. Here's some silly cliches that crack me up that we have fun with at the live events. If you want something done right, do it yourself. That couldn't be further from the truth. It's so silly. Can you imagine owning 10 nursing homes and doing everything yourself? Every single little task? It's impossible. So chasing zero, you need to start to think like Bill Gates. There's no way you're going to scale your company up to where you want it to be if you're going to do everything yourself. And it takes a lot of trust. Have you ever heard that cliche? Oh, so you want someone else to do your dirty work? Absolutely, I want somebody else to do my dirty work. Why would I want to do my own dirty work? Why? Why would I want to do my own dirty work? Absolutely, I want someone else to do this stuff. And then there's this old concept of, and this happens with our employees a lot, especially brand new employees, because I really try to implement this for them too. What am I going to do if this is all this stuff is so efficient and it's done? Believe me, there's other stuff to do, like buying new companies or buying new properties or starting a new line, subdividing property. So what do? Where do you start? All of these tasks, all of them, you should be shooting to not do them at all. You should be using these tools to sub it out, all of it. Snagit is a great tool. We've talked about it earlier. It's this tool where we use this to do the videos for the Philippines and anybody else. Wistia is where we host it's a tool.com where we host the videos so that the Philippines can log in, or anybody else can log in for that matter, and we can see who's watching the videos, if they're actually getting watched, how often they're using these resources, if they ever log in at all. That's the key. You can post it on YouTube, but you don't get the analytics on the back end. So we feel like it's worth it financially. And then, of course, there's a Philippine outsource. All of this was structured so that all of it, if you look down here, can be done by one full-time equivalent, one FTE. This. If you want to do 4 to 8 transactions a month with one person sitting next to you, that's very, very, very possible and feasible. But you need to be able to provide the direction through the videos and the constant management and maintenance of that person and the morale. Let's not forget about morale and encouragement and leadership. In fact, this is how we do it: is we have people, department heads and then the workers in the Philippines report to those department heads, and we get reports. This is a really popular module in the live event, so I decided to do it in Land Academy 2.0. Some of these can be quirky and silly. It's not doesn't directly have to do with buying and selling real estate. Buying and selling real estate is easy. It's this mindset stuff that I see people tripping themselves up on now after 3 years of dealing with Land Academy members, this stuff is important. It doesn't seem like it. It seems silly when you really look at the title, Chasing Zero. What's he going to talk about now like that? Think about these two famous people, Brad Pitt, Bill Gates, waking up in the morning. Some stuff that they have to do. They have to brush their teeth. There's no way, I don't care who you are, you're going to get out of brushing your teeth in the morning. All right, check. Never have to think about it again. I have to do it. From the time you wake up, separate every single thing that you do into two categories. Carry a little notebook around for a couple of weeks. Do I really need those keys? Do I really need a wallet? Do I really need a cell phone? Do I really need to live in an oceanfront house? Or do I just want to? Do I need to clean the house? Or can I outsource it? The vast majority of the things that you probably do, you shouldn't be doing yourself. Getting gas, how about I get an electric car or an electric bike and no one has to you just entirely eliminate that altogether. These are the kinds of things that you should be thinking about when you're starting and running a company and a business. It's very good to get in the habit of doing this right away. I talk about this on our show all the time. Very often, there are people in your life who don't think this way at all, who are standing in your way of efficiency and for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why they do it. That's something that you're going to have to have a conversation with yourself about. Just about everything you do can be contracted out in your personal life, except the fun stuff, to a minimum wage employee who would be happy to have the job. It's $300 a week. You never have to do any of this stuff again for $300 a week. Professional case study, that was a personal one. Put everything in two categories. I have taken the vast majority of the step and done it for you. These things in blue, you're probably not going to get out of doing those forever. And I'm not sure you want to. In fact, I'm sure you do not want to do this because this is the reason that you're successful. Now, if you're spending all your time doing these things, you're going to get darn good at it too, faster. You could hire all of it out and just run the money part of it. There's nothing wrong with that. So what is pathology anyway? You're chasing zero to eliminate every single thing that's possible and only do the things that are fun, profitable, and imperative. Like solar panels entirely eliminate grid electricity. Could you eliminate electricity itself? Yeah. If you want to get that pathologically crazy about it. We talked about fuel already, and do you even need these things at all? Up to half of the stuff that you're working on is unnecessary. In an earlier chapter, we talked about eliminating sales entirely. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again because it's very appropriate here. We have a single buyer for infill lots in Arizona. When we take a property in, before I even close the deal, the acquisition part, I send a text message with the APN and the price, and the buyer immediately, in most cases, immediately sends back just a Y or an N, yes or no. And then we complete the deal. It's gotten to the point where if he doesn't buy it, we just drop the deal, which we shouldn't do. But that's just the way it is right now because we have so many deals coming in. That's chasing zero. The whole boots on the ground concept came into play, which Jill and I will talk about in the last chapter of Land Academy 2.0, which it really applies to House Academy, where you have somebody that's local to that MSA, metropolitan statistical area, like Tampa, let's say, for example, or Las Vegas, where I'll never go to those two places for real estate reasons because we have boots on the ground, local boots on the ground there that complete all the transactions for us, and they report to a transaction coordinator. There's us, the transaction coordinator, and the boots on the ground for every deal in every market. You see how you can scale this thing? You can do, if I sent out 700,000 mailers and had 5 transaction coordinators and boots on the ground that were ready and willing and trained in every market where we're sending these letters out, every deal would get done. It's just as easy for me to do a 700,000 unit mailer as it is a 7,000 unit mailer. It's just Excel. You see how you can scale this up? These numbers don't look so frightening. when you think about it that way, when you think about chasing zero and structuring it this way. Offers to owners is a fantastic example of chasing zero for you. You can send your entire mailer and mail merge operation, outsource it out. We don't charge, as a member, we don't charge for that. You just send us the spreadsheet, we'll put it all together for you. We charge our cost, or close to our cost. ParcelFact is a tool to help you train. All these are tools for you to help to chase zero. ParcelFact was designed for you to have a virtual assistant look up properties very quickly and figure it out. TitleMind is outsourcing the transaction entirely. It's this piece outsourced, the center here. So there's just you. Up next, the two inevitable roadblocks: slow sales and acquisition funding. And of course, we have solutions.